Hello, everyone. Welcome you all to our topic of the day, Journey to a Timeless Enterprise with S4HANA Cloud. Vishnu Prasad, I head the global delivery for the SAP practice at LTIMindtree. So you heard, from the SAP leaders today about the future-proofing of the solution. So we wanted to share with you a very successful S4HANA public cloud implementation. We have our clients, Pitney Bowes, LTIMindtree and Pitney Bowes was a great collaboration along with SAP. It was a 8 months program. We have Linda and Stuart's going to take you through the journey for the next 20 minutes, and I hand this over to Linda to kick it off.
Thank you very much, Viju. Okay, so again, Linda Paoletta, and this is my better work half, Stuart Beadle, and we're going to walk you through our journey to S4 Cloud. And yes, we went live 42 days ago, so the fact that we're here today to speak about it must mean that things are going pretty well. And actually, we are looking to close hypercare in the next week or two, so it is going well. But before we start to talk about that journey, I want to tell you a little bit about who Pitney Bowes is today. We are an enduring 103-year-old company that serves 90% of the Fortune 500. However, our core mailing business is in a secular decline for the last 10 years. So our CEO has led us onto a radical transformation to really drive for long-term growth. So between divesting non-core businesses, acquiring growing markets that are adjacent to our business, and also investing internally on product development, which we're now benefiting from organic product growth. And the proof point of this transformation is now our revenue is 53% shipping, where it was only 3% 10 years ago. So we've successfully navigated from a secular decline mailing market into a shipping market. And that's actually led us to change our mission statement. So Pitney Bowes is a global shipping and mailing company that provides technology, logistics, financial services to help clients reduce the complexity of sending parcels and mail. But we recognize in order to reduce the complexities for our clients, we needed to simplify our internal processes. We really needed to build a durable, timeless enterprise that could withstand these changes in business models as well as the leaps in technology that we're all experiencing. So we kicked off an effort called S4, which we branded Simplify for our clients and businesses. And with that program, what we wanted to do was really drive a standard, out-of-the-box solution that can support our sales to service business processes in a way that we can unlock value without spending a lot of money on complex projects. So that we started this project about a year ago, and what we ended up doing is focusing on our international markets where we have a disparate set of systems. In fact, in Europe, we implemented our ECC 5.0 platform 25 years ago, which was really for fundamentally a different business back then. So hence, fast forward, and we'll go through a little bit of our timeline and solution scope. So the neat thing about this timeline is you'll see that the bookends is this Sapphire event. So Stuart and I attended the event last year, and we really attended everything, whether it be the expert sessions or the customer roundtables or the breakout sessions, to really do our due diligence on whether the public cloud was right for us. Can it support our sales to service processes? Was it mature? Will it perform? Will it support our business volumes? And our hypothesis was it would. But I'll tell you a little story. I don't know if Ari's in the crowd out there, but when we were here last year, our wonderful account rep, Ari, and his VP, Chris, took us out to dinner. And we were discussing the art of possibilities with this public cloud. And we had said, if we could stack these 4 wine corks, then we can get this done. And sure enough, we left Sapphire last year with the mission. And between that Sapphire event to when you see we kicked off in July, we did a lot. We locked down our SAP solution scope, including our professional services with SAP. So we doubled down on our relationship with them. And we also selected our partner for this journey. And at the time, you guys were Mindtree, and we thought somewhat of a boutique. Fast forward to 5 months, they merged with LTI, and now they're LTIMindtree, and they really helped bring a lot of the deep experience we needed to be successful. So actually earlier in the keynote, Christian mentioned the power of one. So I think we all came together on one team to deliver this program, and here we are 12 months at Sapphire again, now telling you about the success. But there's a lot in between that timeline, and we also want to roll around a little bit in terms of that solution scope I mentioned, and also how our business is now executing within the public cloud. So I'm going to hand off to Stuart for some of those details.
Thank you, Linda. Yeah, so a lot happened between those two SAP events that we talked about. And I think it's important to know that we chose to go to the public cloud. We chose to go to the public cloud for sales and service, C4C, S4C, and field service management. We talked to a lot of clients that had gone to the public cloud. We did a lot of reference calls, and we found a lot of clients were going fairly narrow in scope. But at Pitney Bowes, we like a challenge. So we've really gone from sales to service, end to end. And the really impressive thing for me, who's been on blueprint phases of SAP projects that lasted more than 9 months, we did all of that from explore to go live in 9 months. And really that's made possible due to the teaming that Linda's mentioned, and Vishnu, really working together as one team with LTIMindtree and SAP as well as ourselves, but also forming that Pitney Bowes team as well and coming together with the right approach. Again, we chose the public cloud because it was a forcing mechanism to simplify. So we needed our business leaders, and we had the very best to champion that and simplify our business processes. Our whole mantra of the project was to adopt best practice, adopt standard functionality, but also go beyond that. Simplify as well. Even with a public cloud, you can make choices, and we wanted to make the right choices, and we wanted to limit those choices. We deliberately went live with UK and Ireland, but with the plan to roll this out to all of our international markets. But we couldn't afford to go and talk to all of those international markets and elicit requirements like we might have done before. We would still be doing that right now. So we wanted to make as few choices as possible for UK and Ireland to mean we can roll this out with just those statutory standard localizations when we get to each country. As well with the teaming and our approach, the public cloud comes with some tool sets and some accelerators that really helped us along the way. We started Explore in July, and we ran fit to standard workshops. So we looked at the standard solution, and we asked ourselves, why can't we use that standard functions? And that's what we did. We used Calm, Cloud ALM, that guided us through our implementation, and there are accelerators built in there. You can import the 3-system landscape roadmap, and that'll tell you task by task how to execute the program. So we really use the tools that come embedded with the solution. We hooked up, as I said, C4C, S4C, and FSM, a lot of native integrations that had to be built, all the configuration that had to be built in this realize phase. In addition to that, we had 53 other interfaces to build to other systems, other functions that we couldn't roll into this SAP platform, 33 data objects to migrate. Again, we had an accelerator there, the data migration cockpit. SAP provides us the templates. You provide the data into the templates. You load them through the cockpit. And it was one of the smoothest data migrations that I've ever been involved in, partly because of those accelerators, mainly because we had rigorous retention policy on our data. We only took what was needed. We definitely looked forward rather than backwards as to what we used to do as a business. And again, the templates, the load mechanism really helped us. Even in a public cloud where you have limited availability to go again on data. We're very much used to loading data again and again, doing a few dry runs, mock rehearsals, and so on. you're somewhat constrained with the cloud, but we worked with that. We worked with Mindtree and SAP, and we found a way to do that. So we were building and testing through the year. We danced around the February release, right, which is another key part of going to the cloud. We've got to work within these releases, the 2 major releases in the year. We avoided the February release. We avoided our Q1 financial end, and we deployed in April. We've just successfully closed our first financial period on the S4 cloud. We're in hypercare. We're trying to ramp that down now and move on to the next country releases. So that's a little bit about the timeline and the scope. And again, I just want to talk about the scope and the solution as well. We're using C4C for the call centers, all case management, web to case, email to case, inbound calls to case. The call center agents can use a 360 view, toggle straight into S4 backend, look at the invoices, look at the queries that the client may be calling in, maybe even issue a credit, all with that single view. Previously, we've had trouble there, but having this native integration, front office, back office, 360 view of the client has really benefited our call centers. Sales, similarly. Sales are on the front end as well. They're running their leads, their opportunities. They're creating quotes, all fed from data from the back end, customers, accounts, pricing, materials, credit management, all on one integrated system from SAP. Has really benefited us, and I'll talk to the data flow in a moment that I'm pretty excited about, and I'll talk to that in a second. S4, we're running full supply chain, order management, contract management, service management, MRP, indirect procurement, and full R2R, full finance. So a very broad scope of functions. In addition to that, we've taken FSM, field service management, and that allows our clients that require an install, our service technicians can go mobile with FSM. Again, all looking at the same data, all natively integrated across the 3 systems. In addition, we've got the analytics cloud that we're going to use for any mashup reporting, either across the 3 platforms or from some of our other systems that we've got in place. All held together on the BTP platform, and I've already mentioned Calm as well. We're using Calm for implementation now, and we really want to start using Calm for operations. This is the solution manager of old, and we really think there's a lot of power in getting that up and running, really singing, and helping us monitor our business. I'll go quickly because I really want to talk about the data flow, because I think this really shows how we've hooked the 3 systems up, how we've leveraged the power of this common data model that SAP has provided with these 3 solutions, but it also allows us to talk about a few innovation points. Right? With the public cloud, it's currently evolving. We did find some gaps, if you like, that we had to close. We had to close them in the right way, and we wanted to close them with a route back to standard. That's another thing we want to do. We're not where we were before, where we wanted to customize the solution. So if we take that data flow, this will help illustrate it, I think. So a sales rep could be in C4C, managing their pipeline, their prospects, their leads. They'll take it to an opportunity. We will win that opportunity, and we will generate a quote. That quote, again, is based off of S4 data. That quote is subject to credit management approval, discount approval. Once that quote is approved, we electronically sign that quote with a client. That quote will then come back into C4C, and we'll push that through to the back end. Now we have a solution order in S4C. Solution order is the heart of what we've built from order to cash. It's where we really wanted to get the value out of the system. So we wanted to use the solution order. That solution order is a holding place for other functions that flow in order to cash. So the solution order is created. Now it's hands-free. It's all automated, whereas today we have order entry. That solution order will release to fulfillment. So we will go and fulfill the product, either physically through our postage meter systems or through our SaaS provisioning platforms. Those are some of the RICEFs, the interfaces I spoke about earlier that we built. In this instance, we'll take an example of a physical product. We physically ship through our 3PL integration. The product goes out to the client. solution order then is released. The post-goods issue of the delivery automatically releases the solution order. That solution order then knows there's a service to go and install the product. So we create a service order, all hands-free, all automated. That service order is dispatched to a technician. The technician goes mobile on FSM with his app. He will go and carry out the installation. As soon as that technician closes the install, that automatically comes back into SAP, closes solution order, recognizes the install has been completed. That then will go and create the service contract automatically. Service contract is where we bill our rentals, we bill our service. We also hold our service entitlement. So if we ever get a break fix in the future, that's all automated now. After that, the contract will activate, the contract will bill. We will do the invoice presentment through our web vault and our full integration to our Your account. And lastly, we capture all of that RevRec and all of that financial postings that has generated. So that entire flow now is pretty much hands-free, whereas before we would obviously have to interject manual steps into that process.
You could tell Stuart this is near and dear to his heart. One thing we didn't mention is that we decided to pilot this solution for our UK and Ireland business. And if you can't tell with the accent, Stuart's part of our office out of London. And he was really ground floor of this great project and with Mindtree. But what we do want to do is touch upon some of the key learnings, the expected benefits, and the next steps. And I'll start with the first one. We really had business simplification at the core. It was top down, bottoms up. In fact, I was in the UK just a couple of weeks ago, just before King Charles' coronation, and we ended up crowning our UK country lead as the king of simplification. Because without him, we wouldn't have had this constant theme of driving to a simple, out-of-the-box solution. And he made some tough decisions when he had to, but everyone came into the fold, and it was really one of the key success factors. And he tells a story about not stopping at good enough. When we were looking at the solution, understanding how it was going to fit, what secret sauce we wanted to build, we were also looking at our data. And in a 25-year-old system, our master data got a little dirty. So our cost centers, for 1,100 employees, we had, I think, 1,600 cost centers. And good enough would have been, let's take it to 800, 50% cut. Instead, we took it to 60. So really, we did not stop at good enough. We really did this greenfield approach to get the best out-of-the-box solution with very streamlined data, which was key. I also want to talk about the winning team. That was so important. I think, Pitney Bowes, being around for 103 years, we understand culture, and getting the SAP team and the LTIMindtree together and forming this one team was key. Everyone aligned with the guiding principles of the program, which was key. The expected benefits, our ROI is less than 2 years on this, and once this heavy lift was done, it is now the template that we're going to roll out across Europe, Asia Pac, and then eventually swing it back into North America as our ECC 6.0 platform there. We'll need to make some decisions before the cliffs come in 2027 and 2030. But those expected benefits of really cloud mindset, process and data simplification, and having this template to roll out has been huge. Next steps, this is almost just the beginning. We are building a center of excellence. You spend all this time driving a native, simple solution with clean data. The last thing you want to do is take it to where we were, which was 25 years of a heavily customized system. So we're going to put a lot of governance and a small team together that's going to support this solution, but also support all the rollouts. And we will be building some automation and DevOps and all the things you need to do within that center of excellence. We also plan to extend the solution. That was probably the best part of public cloud. You keep the core clean and you use BTP to really drive out these extensions. So we do plan on doing a little bit more of that and seeing the art of the possible there. And then we'll be on this 4-month country deployment to finish up Europe and Asia Pac. And then obviously we head over to North America. It is 75 to 80% of our revenue, so that'll be the big effort, but we have a little bit of time there. And just lastly, I do want to just send a thank you to SAP and LTIMindtree. It was quite a team effort, and we're excited to come back next year to see what we've accomplished in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Linda, Stuart. Thank you. And you said crowning the king. I think this program is like the jewel in the crown,
There you
right,
go.
as we move forward to our next steps on the rollouts. Thank you again, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Vishnu.
Thanks.
Thanks,
you.
everyone.